Hey everyone, I'm Mr. Willis, and welcome to You Will Love AP Gov. Thanks for joining me for this first video in my series on the required Supreme Court cases for AP U.S. government. In today's video, we're discussing Marbury versus Madison, the landmark Supreme Court case from 1803 that fundamentally shaped the structure of American government and established the principle of judicial review. If you're taking notes for your AP class or prepping for the AP exam, remember to click on the link below and download the free guided notebook page to make it easier to follow along. Let's get at it. At the end of his presidency, John Adams sought to maintain Federalist influence in government by appointing several judges, including William Marbury. These midnight appointments were meant to secure Federalist control of the judiciary before Thomas Jefferson, a Democratic Republican, took office. However, when Jefferson became president, his Secretary of State, James Madison, refused to deliver Marbury's commission, effectively preventing him from taking his judicial position. Marbury sued Madison, arguing that the Judiciary Act of 1789 entitled him to bring his case directly to the Supreme Court, and that the court should issue a writ of mandamus, compelling Madison to deliver the commission. The central issue in the case was whether Marbury had the right to his commission, and, if so, whether the Supreme Court had the authority to order Madison to deliver it. In a 4-0 decision, the court held that Marbury did have the right to his commission, as it had been lawfully granted. However, the court ruled that it could not compel Madison to deliver the commission because the section of the Judiciary Act of 1789 that allowed Marbury to bring his case directly to the Supreme Court was unconstitutional. This was a significant ruling because it was the first time the Supreme Court declared an act of Congress invalid. Chief Justice John Marshall, writing for the court, reasoned that the Constitution is the supreme law of the land, and any law that conflicts with it is void. The Judiciary Act of 1789 had improperly expanded the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court beyond what was permitted by Article 3 of the Constitution. Since the Constitution did not grant Congress the power to modify the court's original jurisdiction, the law was invalid. By striking down the statute, Marshall established the precedent that the Supreme Court has the power to review and nullify congressional laws that violate the Constitution, a power now known as judicial review. Marbury versus Madison may be the most significant case in Supreme Court history because it reinforced the system of checks and balances and affirmed the judiciary's role as a co-equal branch of government. This case was the first time the Supreme Court asserted its authority to interpret the Constitution and invalidate congressional acts that exceeded constitutional limits. Judicial review remains one of the most critical functions of the Supreme Court, allowing it to oversee and limit the actions of the legislative and executive branches. This precedent has shaped major rulings throughout American history, from cases on civil rights to executive power, ensuring that all laws and government actions adhere to constitutional principles. And that's everything you need to know about Marbury versus Madison. You can click here for additional videos for AP U.S. government, and be sure to check out my videos on AP macroeconomics and AP microeconomics as well. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more content on AP Government and Economics. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on You Will Love AP Gov.